Hello everybody, my name is Dave, and this video is in conjunction with the previous video, although I'm saying previous video because I'm going to upload this one first. The reason being, I want this to be a bit of a disclaimer. I'm going to talk about DC to DC chargers, what they do and why we use them. I'm going to talk about lithium ion LifePO4 batteries and how safe they are. And first of all, I'm going to give you a bit of a disclaimer to my next video. So in the next video, which is entitled using a fridge with a battery, we talk about a customer of mine who wanted to just use a battery charged up with a fridge. And when I explained to him the problems of that, I said to him, look, once your battery's dead, your battery's dead. If you're charging it at home, if you're 4 days into a 7-day trip and your battery dies, you've got no fridge for the next 3 days. If it was me, what I'd be doing is throwing a solar blanket out using an MPPT charger. It works with lithium, plugging it in to the battery and keeping yourself going like that. Not an ideal situation, but better than nothing. I just want to say that all of the video is just my opinion. There is no recommendations from me. I am not an auto electrician. I'm not a specialist. All I'm doing is giving you my advice, okay? Anyway, let's talk about DC to DC chargers. Why do we have them? I missed this out of the video, so I'm just adding it here. Well, the first thing is that we use a DC to DC charger to charge the battery, cranking battery voltage from the alternator into an auxiliary battery in the back, whether it be an AGM or whether it be a lithium battery. But it has other functions. The other functions are, what we don't want, when we stop the engine, we want the charging to stop, and it does. But what we don't want is when the auxiliary battery in the back is powering the fridge, we don't want it taking any power from the cranking battery. We want that battery at full power so we can turn the engine over and get out of there if we need to. So the DC to DC charger will stop that. Some chargers, like the one I use, will, if you have solar input into it, if the auxiliary battery is fully charged in the back, it will put some power into the cranking battery at the front if it isn't already charged. So that's a good feature. It also, some of the chargers will have a wake-up feature for lithium batteries. If you're using a lithium battery in the back, you must use a DC-DC charger with lithium capability. Some of them will come with a wake-up feature because if a lithium battery gets to zero, it won't recharge. You have to give it a wake-up, which is basically a couple of volts, and then it'll kick it into life and it'll recharge. Some of the DC-DC chargers will do that. Some DC-DC chargers come with solar inputs, built-in MPPT controllers. Some of them are different amperage. You get 25 amp, 40 amp, 50 amp, whatever. I just wanted to get through those points before I move on to the next point, which is, I had a customer come into me, I mentioned it in the previous video, where he told me that lithium batteries were just a time bomb waiting to explode. So what I want to do, I'm going to link to this in the description, but I want to read to you an article from Relion, I don't know what they are, but they're a battery company, probably American. How are LifePO4 batteries safer than other lithium batteries is the title of the article. So I'm going to read it from the screen, so I won't be looking at the screen. I apologize. Phosphate-based batteries offer superior chemical and mechanical structure that does not overheat to unsafe levels, thus providing an increase in safety over lithium-ion batteries made with other cathode materials. This is because the charged and uncharged states of a LifePO4 are physically similar to and highly robust, which lets the ions remain stable during the oxygen flux that happens alongside charge cycles or possible malfunctions. Overall, the iron phosphate oxide bond is stronger than cobalt oxide bond. So when the battery is overcharged or subject to physical damage, then the phosphate oxide bond remains structurally stable. Whereas in other lithium chemistries and bonds begin breaking down and releasing excessive heat, which leads to a thermal runaway, which is what happens in Teslas. Lithium phosphate cells are incombustible, which is an important feature in the event of mishandling during charging and discharging. They can also withstand harsh conditions, be it freezing cold, scorching heat, or rough terrain. When subjected to hazardous events such as collision or short-circuiting, they won't explode or catch fire, significantly reducing the chance of harm. If you're selecting a lithium battery and anticipate a hazardous and unstable environment, LifePO4 is likely your best choice. It's also worth mentioning that LifePO4 batteries are non-toxic, non-contaminating, and contain no rare earth metals, making them environmentally conscious too. So there you go. If you get told that somebody comes in and says, I'm not buying a lithium battery, they're a time bomb waiting to explode, they are talking horse tripe. Ignore them, or tell them to go and do some research and stop believing what people tell them. There you go. That's it. That's the accompanying video. Now go and watch the other video. Thank you for watching. See you later.